So my video today is mostly, almost specifically for men, but it doesn't have to be. The thing that I'm going to talk about really could be applied to women also if you just reverse the roles. But because most of my audience is men, you're really going to relate to this. Um, there is just an enormous, a vast amount of videos out there that you can watch, and they're quite popular about whether you should chase a woman or not, what it takes to get one. You know, all these pickup artists, um, a lot of men out there doing fatherly advice, which is all very good. And there's a lot of opinions on how far you should go, how you should treat a woman, whether you should let her come to you, whether you go to her, and what the boundaries are. And so I want to talk a little bit about that, at least give my opinion on it. I'm certainly not speaking from on high. You know, it's just my opinion, my thoughts on it over years of experience. And in some cases I have to look quite a ways back because I've been married for a long time. But here's my thoughts on the whole thing regarding women and what you get if you don't handle things the right way. And oftentimes we don't. Women are oftentimes seen as the rule makers for whether a relationship is commenced, whether it makes it or not. And almost as if you've got to entirely please them to make sure that you can make it past the gatekeeper. And because they do seem to kind of be, but that's only because she doesn't respect you. And men ultimately really want the respect of a woman more than anything else. We're not really looking for her so much to demonstrate love in the way that we demonstrate it to them, in the way they want it from us. What we want is we want the respect, and that's how we interpret love. But oftentimes we don't get it, and there's a reason why, because we can really flub up. And so the impetus behind this video is something I read. I had picked up a book I found in an antique store on the philosophy of Elbert Hubbard. Elbert Hubbard was an eccentric artisan, philosopher, writer back in the early 20th century, late 18th century. He's kind of strange. I don't really align myself with his beliefs a whole lot. He's an atheist, a socialist, an anarchist. But that doesn't mean that he doesn't say anything of any value. It's just interesting to find out what people like them actually have to say, and they have some gems. And so I found this one remark that he made that I fully agree with, and it was the way he put it. It's the terms he put it in that made it worth remembering. Here's what he said. He said, "Ardent wooing will not secure either wisdom or a woman, except in the case where a woman marries a man to get rid of him, and he really does not get the woman. He only secures her husk." That's pretty deep. I don't want to go back and read that again. It's worth rewinding this and listening to it a second and third time, because if you can just imagine what he possibly means by "you only get her husk," the ardent wooing. He didn't say wooing will not secure a woman. He said ardent wooing. The wooing that is intense. It's almost never ending. It's there's so much effort put into it, and it's almost inappropriate because the timing is not right. And so therefore, when you do, what he's saying is, if you do too much of that, if it's not well placed, if it's not well timed, you may secure a woman in the sense that you have her in your life. You may think that you're getting what you want, but you really only have her husk. You really only have the shell of the woman, but not the woman herself. You don't have her respect. You don't really have her love. And so therefore, you don't really have much at all. And you end up feeling lonely. You end up feeling empty and resentful. So it doesn't have to stay that way, though. It doesn't have to stay that way. And sometimes you might end up feeling that way about a woman, and it's not for reasons like this. But ardent wooing of a woman will not secure her. You'll only get the husk. There are times that we do woo a woman. In other words, we entice her, we draw her to us. But there's a lot of chatter about how you shouldn't chase a woman. There's a lot of chatter about what you should and should not do, and I agree with a lot of it actually, but not entirely. You have to spit out the bones, chew up the meat, and so here are my thoughts on all of this. There are times that I think there's about 3 different times you woo a woman: when you're trying to initiate a relationship, when you are trying to maintain a relationship, and when you're trying to get one back. Okay, when you've lost it and you're trying to get her back, and men will go overboard in trying to in enticing her and drawing her to him, and oftentimes that does not work. It may work. She may make him think it works, but in essence, it really doesn't. It only works for her as long as she wants it to, and then she discards him. But you've got to be careful even at the beginning stages of wooing a woman, when you're trying to, here's what I picture. You've seen these movies, and movies are really the downfall of a lot of men. We're talked into watching these by women. Perhaps you've seen your mother watch these movies growing up, and your sisters, your girlfriends, your wives, whoever, the women in your life, they love these romantic movies, but they mislead men into thinking that this is what you have to do to get one. And oftentimes it's not. But a little bit of that's not bad. But you've seen the guy stand outside a girl's window. He's playing a guitar. He's singing a song for her. And she's just smitten. And he's stolen her heart. And she's his forever. But, whatever. I mean, it's a little unrealistic. I mean, there are people who have done this. But it doesn't mean your relationship's going to work out. I mean, people have such corny ideals of how relationships are initiated, how they start, or how they should start at all sorts of different stages. And oftentimes they're just so superficial, and they have no weight, and they have no promise. But it's okay to draw a woman to you, but you don't really want to chase her, because a woman decides whether or not she wants to be with you. And you can be persistent. You can do all sorts of things. You can try your hardest, and you may be getting what you think you want, but you're not really getting much if you're the one that's trying so hard. It's good to let a woman know that you might be interested. You just can't be overcommitted in your interest, and you can't be so invested in how much attention you're going to give a woman to let her know that you're interested. Either you appeal to her or you don't. Now, here's something that my mother told me years ago that I have found to be true. It's extremely valuable. Here's what she told me. She goes, "Greg, a woman loves to see a man in motion. A woman that's what she finds appealing. If a woman sees you doing something, and I don't mean wooing her. I don't mean trying to get her, but if she sees you in action life, that doesn't mean that you have to be an entrepreneur. Doesn't mean you have to be getting rich. Doesn't mean you have to be acquiring a lot. It's just, if a woman sees you being you, doing things in your life the way that you do them, because that's your personality, and you're not so focused on her, that's when she ultimately becomes attracted to you for who you really are. But so many men are so they're only focused on themselves in as far as they want to get what they want. They want to acquire something. But they're not, but they forget about themselves. They stop caring about themselves while they're trying to get a woman, and they throw away any kind of dignity they have, any kind of self-respect. And then the woman sees this, and she sees it as insecurity, a lack of confidence. It's good. It's only good to show that you might have a modicum of interest, a little bit of interest, and then back off and let her make some moves. The problem is, a lot of men, they run full speed at a woman, and they try to take it by force. And women may allow a man to get so far, but it just generally doesn't work out. So it's okay to show a modicum of interest, but back off, pull away, and allow things to kind of evolve naturally, kind of organically with a woman. You know, like for instance, even when I met my wife, I met her when I was walking around the lake. She showed some interest in me. I did initiate contact after she showed interest to me. And then we talked for a little bit, and she was with another girl. I ended up getting both their phone numbers, but I still didn't call either one of them for several days. See, I showed interest, but you back off. You don't move right away. You make them wonder a little bit, because they need to wonder. They need to wonder if there's anything to this or not. They need to wonder if you're attracted to them. Problem with a lot of guys is they're showing, they're leaving no mystery as to their attraction for the woman, and that doesn't make her try. A woman wants to try. A woman wants to, she wants the back and forth of volley in the relationship. She really does want that. So you have to kind of give things a chance to simmer, to marinate, to evolve, and to grow. But it takes a little bit of time, but oftentimes a lot of guys are in too big of a hurry. So it's okay to woo, only in the sense that you have to do it so carefully. The other times that men do it when they're trying to maintain a relationship, and that's important. This is a little more of an appropriate time to woo a woman, because as time goes on, if you're in a long relationship, I've been married for 20 years, but if you've been in a relationship for a long period of time, it's easy to grow complacent. You need to do things to show the other person that you are attracted to them, but you still need to remember to pull away, move forward, pull away, move forward, pull away. In other words, take one step forward, 2 steps back. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. It's very important to kind of remember it in that light, and that does help, because you can't, if you are showing the other person, whether you're male or female, if you're showing the other person that you're willing to do all the work, they may be willing to let you. And then you're going to feel dry. Your account is going to be dried up. Your well will no longer have anything in it. You won't have anything to draw from. And then she's going to be so used to you doing everything. When you stop, she's going to be wondering why. And, but in a lot of cases, I think women really do want to try. They may not be able to pinpoint that that's what the problem is, but they really do. They like the drama. And I'm not saying all drama is bad, but they like the dynamics that take place, that are supposed to take place organically in a relationship. The other time that men will woo a woman is when they're trying to get her back. There are so many segments on the radio that I hear now where they do ghosting segments where somebody has gone dark on them. They're in somewhat of a relationship. Usually it's very shallow, it's very short. It's just one that people may have been on a couple dates and they just never hear from the person again. And I don't understand why people pursue those things. I mean, if someone ghosts on you, then let it go. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to try to pursue that. But if you are let go by a woman, be willing to stay that way. Do not chase her. Do not try to convince her that she should be with you. Consider yourself as having dodged a bullet, even if you think it's your fault. Do not woo. Now, it might be important, once again, to show a little bit of interest, but you need to pull away. See, that's really all across the board. I really honestly believe that's the way it should be done, whether you're trying to initiate a relationship, maintain one, or win one back. It's okay to show enough interest to go, I might be interested, I might not be. You know, at least you're letting them know, you're giving them something to work with. But you can't be the one to do all the work, and you can't be impatient, and you can't be intense, and you will not secure anything for yourself by doing those things, by acting in those ways, because if you do, you'll only get the husk. You'll only get the shell of a woman. Yes, you may marry her, but she might have married you just to get rid of you. Now, that sounds like a weird concept, doesn't it? But it actually does happen, I believe. Because how many times has a man said, as soon as I married her, she dried up? Sexually, emotionally. She just dried up. Why? She was trying to get rid of you. Now, many women would probably hear this and balk at that. But it's just the easy way out for a lot of people. If you're a confident woman, you know what you want, that's not going to happen to you. But not all people are like that. There are a lot of women that are just like men. They're insecure. They take the easy way out. That everybody's like. A lot of people are like that, men and women both. So, and there are women that will marry men just, because they think they have to. They're settling, or they're insecure. They take the easy way out. So they're only giving you a part of them, but you don't have the whole woman. Those are my thoughts on the matter, and I hope that's help. I hope that's helped, and I hope that that maybe you can think about that. A woman loves a man in motion. Only proceed gingerly. Be willing to draw back. If you're going to make a move forward, make it one step and take two back. That's the encapsulation of my whole point here today. I hope it's helped, and make your remarks below. I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Bye-bye.